Welcome to Ad Spend Secrets. My name is Luke Smith. In this episode, we're going to talk about whether or not you're actually getting new customers and exactly how you can see this in Meta, how you can look at those audience segment breakdowns, how you can set them up, and how you can determine whether or not you're generating new revenue for your business, your Shopify store, or you're just circling the same pool of customers and the frequency of ads might be really high and the efficiency may be dropping over time, but you may not realize because you haven't seen this breakdown. So let's get into it. So one of the questions I get asked when I'm on the phone with many brands, particularly in the kids and parenting space, is how do I get new customers? They might be generating some orders, but maybe it's initially obviously through family, friends, the close network. Then it starts to expand out into people that they may have had purchased once that are coming back, but they're unable to get those new orders at an efficient rate where the cost per purchase is low enough to make it make sense, and they're unable to get in front of new eyeballs in a cost-effective way. So the first step here is identifying and being able to see in Meta whether or not your ads are actually targeting new users or existing users. And this is probably only 12 months old or even less, but it's in the advertiser settings of Meta. So if you're in business.facebook.com, you're in your business portfolio, you should be able to go to your ad account and then go to what's called advertiser settings. And from there, you're going to actually be able to see, and I'll just get it up here because again, this is quite specific and I want to make sure that I'm directing you to the right area of the account. So the section you want to find in advertiser settings is audience segments. Now you want to go in there and actually define these segments, and you want to do that because you want to allow Meta to understand who your customers that are already in your Shopify store are. So you want to export, you want to download a CSV file, a Microsoft Excel or Google Sheet file from Shopify. You want to get that data into Facebook as an audience, and you want to associate that with your existing customer data. You want to define the audience for existing customers using that data source. That's going to tell Facebook, hey, if you see anyone on this list, they're already a customer. So I want you to categorize them accordingly. I don't want you to optimize towards them as new people. Know that they're existing customers. It will also indirectly use this information to try and find you similar people. The other segments that you want to define is engaged audiences. So these are people that may not have bought yet, but you want to tell Facebook, hey, these people have found my brand. They've maybe been to my website. They've explored my Facebook shop. They've viewed product through my catalog. These people are categorized as engaged, but not existing customers. When you define these two audiences in this segment section of the advertiser settings, and you start to run campaigns, you'll then be able to actually break down in the Ads Manager dashboard. You'll be able to go to breakdown and then demographics. There's going to be an option for audience segments. These are the segments you've just defined, right? Your engaged audiences and your existing audiences, your existing customers. And then you're going to see when your campaigns are running day by day, week by week, month by month, how much of your ad spend, how many of your clicks, how many of your impressions are actually going to each pocket of these audiences. This is super important for you to understand how much of your budget is going to capturing new people versus circling the same number of existing people, right? So you might find something quite shocking. You might find that, you're spending $30 a day and 20 of it is going to your existing customers. The frequency might be 25, so they're seeing the same ads over and over and over again. So this kind of information can be very revealing, and it can help you figure out what the next steps may be for that campaign. Maybe it's putting an existing customer cap on a campaign, which you can do in what Meta calls an ASC campaign, an Advantage Plus shopping campaign. Once you've defined all these audiences, you can also tell campaigns to say, hey, don't bid more than 10% on my daily budget on existing customers. So these are really powerful tactics to start going after new customers and start optimizing your campaigns and looking at what the cost per purchase may be for people that don't already know you. The other thing that you can do, and this is something that we're seeing more and more in accounts, and what we see is when this is for e-com brands in particular, but they may be using Klaviyo to send emails. And when they drop emails, if they've got a decent sized list, a few thousand or more, the CPA, the cost per purchase on Facebook, will actually drop significantly. And so this is also insightful because you can then look at this breakdown, the audience segments breakdown, looking at the breakdown demographics, again, going to audience segments. You'll be able to see new, engaged, and existing 3 line items and the budget, spend, performance, and results according to each segment. You'll be able to see when you send emails, it's probably going to be reporting on a lot of sales that are coming from that existing audience segment. They're already on your email list. They've maybe seen that through Gmail. They've clicked to the site. They've bought. But Facebook might be tracking it as a purchase because maybe the day before or the day of, they were scrolling their feed and they've seen your ad impression, and it will track that as a purchase. So these kind of breakdowns can be very insightful. The other next step that you can do to reveal how people may be interacting with your ads, whether they're viewing or clicking, right? So these are called attribution windows. And if you're going to jump into Ads Manager, you're going to set up a campaign and you're just going to follow the default settings, Facebook's typically going to set it up as a 7-day click, 1-day view attribution setting. What that means is Facebook's going to claim a purchase if somebody views an ad. So they don't even have to click an ad. If they're scrolling through and they see an ad and they keep scrolling, it's going to mark as one impression. It's going to be marked as a viewed ad, right? That same day, if they receive an email from you, or maybe they're on Google and they see a Google ad and they click through Google and then they buy, Facebook will claim that purchase. So you can see through the attribution windows breakdown how many people have seen an ad and purchased. So that would be the 1-day view segment of users, and how many people have clicked an ad and purchased. So you can not only look at the 7-day click window, you can also open it up to 28 days and even 1-day click, I believe. So you can look at how many people are seeing an ad, buying, all in the same day without clicking. You can see how many people are seeing an ad, clicking and buying all in the 1 day. And you can see how many people are seeing an ad, clicking and then buying within 7 days of clicking, right? And again, within 28 days. So very, very useful to see the view attribution versus the click attribution, so that actually when Facebook is telling you that you're getting a result or a purchase, cost per purchase of $20, you want to get this breakdown because it might be the case that it's actually $50 to get somebody to see the ad, click the ad and buy. So a lot of them might be what Facebook would call view attributed purchases. So there could be other channels playing a major role in that purchase. And so then the question becomes, is this the best use of my budget? Is Google having a bigger impact than we thought? Is email having a bigger impact than we thought? And how can we tie it all together? So that's a couple of different points there. And these, as I said, are coming up pretty frequently with clients. And what we're seeing in accounts is, how do we navigate new customer acquisition? How do we see how much spend is going to new customers versus existing customers? And how do we, within Meta's platform, identify how they're actually making that purchase? Is it through a view or is it through a click? And are they buying within 7 days of a click or 28 days of a click? And how is the money being distributed? And what should we be doing to optimize towards what we're trying to achieve, which in most cases for most customers and clients is shortening of that purchase window, right? So a 1-day click maybe, or even a 7-day click. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or you would like me to jump into your ad account and have a quick audit and see how this is playing out in your own accounts, you can always go to simplyconverting.com/call and I'd be happy to help. Thanks.